Shen had been in a relationship with Gu Lang for 3 years and was ready to embrace a lifelong marriage with a grand wedding. However, Gu Lang abandoned her on their wedding day. In order to reunite with his first love and white moonlight, he left a brief apology and fled without hesitation, leaving Shen alone in the wedding lounge and turning her into a universal laughingstock. The entire Gu family was thrown into chaos. The elders were consumed with anxiety. Na's mother nearly fainted from rage, and both families suffered irreversible humiliation. Amid the desperate mess, Gu Xiao, Gu Lang's 22-year-old younger brother and a senior college student, stepped forward abruptly. He announced in front of all guests that he would marry Shen on behalf of his runaway brother. Usually introverted and shy, Gu Xiao would always blush nervously in front of Shen and only call her sister timidly. To everyone, he was just an immature and youthful teenager. Yet at this moment, his eyes were burning with persistent determination and desperate resolution. He insisted on making up for his brother's mistakes and preventing the wedding from collapsing completely. Silence swept the entire venue. Mrs. Gu rebuked him sharply for acting recklessly and stressed that marriage was no childish game. Nevertheless, Gu Zhao remained firm and justified his decision with his legal adulthood. He walked slowly toward the stunned Xinhao, held her wrist cautiously and gently, and begged her to marry him. He promised to protect her wholeheartedly and shield her from gossip and humiliation. Trapped in extreme embarrassment and despair, had no way out. Moved by the sincerity, hidden pain and deep affection in Gu Zhao's eyes, she nodded and agreed to this absurd substitute marriage. The wedding proceeded with a last-minute groom replacement, triggering widespread shock and whispers among the guests. Gu Zhao stood straight throughout the ceremony, guarding Shen closely against all strange stares and rumors. His fingers trembled clumsily yet sincerely when exchanging wedding rings. During the wedding banquet, he took the initiative to block endless toasts for her, cared for her emotions and attire meticulously, and treated her with restrained tenderness. On their wedding night, the bright red decorations of the bridal chamber were bitterly ironic. Gu Zhao maintained strict boundaries and self-restraint. He voluntarily moved into the guest room and lived separately from Shen Han, never crossing the line. From then on, they lead a cold marriage under the same roof. Living like mere flatmates, Gu Zhao hid his deep love in trivial details and took perfect care of Shen's daily life. He prepared breakfast every morning and left warm notes, memorized all her preferences and taboos, and kept the house neat and cozy. Though thoughtful and considerate in every way, he kept a safe distance, avoided physical contact, and addressed her formally as sister. They rarely communicated, trapped in a dull and repressive atmosphere. Then Shen accidentally stumbled on the stairs. Gu Zhao caught her by instinct but pulled away instantly as if burned, blushing and apologizing awkwardly. His excessive restraint confused Shen. She appreciated his kindness yet wondered about the future of their loveless marriage. Gu Lang disappeared completely without a trace. Filled with guilt, the Gu family compensated Shen with generous assets and shares, which could never fill the emptiness of their marriage. After 3 months of a sexless and indifferent marriage, Shen's grievances gradually accumulated. Her mother's constant urging to have a child and consolidate their marriage pushed her to the breaking point. One night, she chose to have an honest talk with Gu Zhao, who came home late with the smell of alcohol. She questioned his deliberate estrangement and suspected that he only pitied her as his brother's abandoned fiancé and treated himself as a mere substitute. Gu Zhao broke down instantly, overwhelmed by inferiority and hurt. He confessed that he had always been afraid of scaring her and making her disgusted by his advances. He clearly knew their marriage began in absurdity and regarded himself as an opportunistic substitute unworthy of her. Assuming Shen still had lingering feelings for Gu Lang, he chose to retreat silently, daring not to crave her love and only wishing to protect her from afar. Their conversation ended in coldness, and their relationship dropped to a freezing point. Gu Zhao avoided her deliberately, leaving early and returning late, and stayed in the study for most of the day to minimize encounters. Shen fell into deep confusion and exhaustion. Even considering divorce, Her best friend Zhu King noticed her poor condition and took her out to relax, revealing the truth behind Gu Zhao's restraint. His indifference was actually rooted in deep, humble and pure love. To uncover the truth, the two went to a bar near Gu Zhao's university and overheard his private conversation with friends. Drunk, Gu Zhao revealed his long-buried secret. He had fallen in love with Shen silently for many years. He had admired her since her college days, secretly collected everything related to her, and endured immense pain while watching her fall in love with his brother and step into an arranged marriage. His decision to marry her was never out of obligation, but a long-awaited choice driven by deep love. He cherished Shen as his most precious treasure, loving her humbly and cautiously. He endured loneliness and repression in their marriage alone, ready to be abandoned at any time. His only wish was simple. No matter how far she wandered, she would eventually come home. Tears streamed down Shen's face after learning the truth, filled with deep guilt and heartache. She browsed Gu Zhao's private Weibo account and fully discovered his years of silent secret love. He secretly photographed her back 3 years ago and regarded her as the light of the world. He worried about hurt rebels in silence. He suffered alone when she fell for Gu Lang, and he prayed sincerely to protect her on the eve of her wedding. For years, he watched her joy and sorrow in secret. Stepped forward without hesitation when she was hurt, and used his own life to shelter her from collapse. Determined to break the ice and respond to his deep love, Shen decided to take the initiative. That night, she put on a sexy nightdress, pretended to be unwell, and called Gu Zhao for help. Panicked and worried, Gu Zhao rushed into the master bedroom without hesitation. Shen pulled him into her arms, exposed all his hidden affection, and admitted that she knew everything about his secret love. She took the initiative to kiss him, breaking his long-term restraint and inferiority. The repressed love and desire burst out completely. Gu Zhao abandoned all his timidity and hesitation, loving her passionately and possessively. They finally broke the shackles of their nominal marriage and became true husband and wife. After a tender night, their relationship underwent thorough transformation. The next morning, Gu Zhao was gentle, doting and unabashedly affectionate, no longer restrained or inferior. What began as a ridiculous substitute marriage haunted by runaway betrayal was eventually redeemed by Gu Zhao's years of silent devotion and deep love. Letting go of the pain of the past and her obsession with Gu Lang, Shen sunk into Gu Zhao's exclusive tenderness and protection. They resolved all misunderstandings and estrangement tests, healed each other, and embraced a sweet and lasting future together.